Hi, I'm Stephanie Jaworski of joybaking.com. Today we're going to make Buckeye candy, also known just as Buckeyes, and this is what they look like. They're so named because they actually look like the nut from a Buckeye tree. This is a no-bake confection. I think they taste just like a peanut butter cup with their outside coating of dark chocolate, and inside they have this deliciously smooth and creamy peanut butter filling. They store really well, up to like 10 days in the refrigerator, or you can even freeze them. So we're going to start with our peanut butter filling. I'm just going to make this by hand, so I have a large bowl. You can either use a wooden spoon or I have a spatula. But if you want, you can pull out your stand mixer, use your paddle attachment, or you can use a hand mixer. So there's only 4 ingredients. To start, you will need 3 tablespoons, 42 grams of butter, and have your butter quite soft. I'm using unsalted. If you want to bump up the salt flavor of these, you could use salted butter. And then, of course, we need peanut butter. So you will need 1 cup, 240 grams of your favorite brand of creamy, smooth peanut butter. You could use just the regular peanut butter, or if you wanted to use what is called old-fashioned or natural, and what that means is there's no stabilizer in there, so your peanut butter does separate when it's stored, so you will have to stir it up before you measure it out. So what I'm going to do, peanut butter, and just mix that together. You want your butter really soft so that there's no lumps. So easy to make. This makes, mine are fairly small, makes about 40. You could just double the recipe and make 80. Because like I said, they freeze so well. So that's that. And then I'm adding just a half a teaspoon, 2 grams of pure vanilla extract. If you don't want the vanilla flavor, you can just leave that out. And then you will need 1 cup, 120 grams of confectioner sugar, also known as powdered or icing sugar. And I am going to sift that. I'm just using a strainer. If you have a sifter, you can do that. Because, you know, powdered sugar always has lumps, so get rid of those. Okay, and we're just gonna stir that in. My kind of recipe, because this is the filling. Okay, so we're done. Sometimes I find it easier just to use my hands to mix that up, but it's kind of messy. So now we're going to form them into, measure them out for our rounds. You can make these any size you want. As you can see, I like mine fairly small because I like the proportion of the peanut butter filling to the chocolate. Some people like them larger. You can make them smaller. I'll leave that up to you. So take a baking sheet, and I've lined mine with parchment paper. You use wax paper, foil, plastic wrap, whatever you have in the house. So I'm making, for this size, I'm using about 1.5 teaspoons, which is about, if you want to weigh out with your scale, about 10 grams. I'm actually using the little scoop here, if you have one that size. And then I'm just going to do that. Now this filling is a little soft right now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just put them like that on my cookie sheet. And then I'm going to just put this cookie sheet into the freezer for about 10 to 15 minutes. And that's going to firm up the filling enough so then I can roll it into round balls. So I did chill them for about 10 to 15 minutes in the freezer, just until they start to firm up so that we can roll them into rounds. Now this gets a little messy If you want to wear some gloves, you can do that. But all you gotta do is just roll it into a round. If you're using your hands, you probably every once in a while will have to stop and wash your hands. And then once you do them all, what we're gonna do is I'm gonna put them back into the freezer. I want them really like cold and firm before we dip them in the chocolate. So I would say maybe about an hour. Get them nice and cold and firm. And then when we come back, we will dip them in the chocolate. So now to melt our chocolate, you will need a saucepan of simmering water. And then in a heat-proof bowl, I like stainless steel, you will need 5 ounces, which is 140 grams of your favorite semi-sweet or even bittersweet chocolate. So a semi-sweet is about maybe 55% cocoa butter content, and then your bittersweet is up around the 70%. So whatever you like. You could use your favorite chocolate bar and just cut that up. I'm using these round discs. You can even use chocolate chips if you wanted to. So typically you can go on your baking aisle, then they have all the different types of chocolate there, or you could go on usually the candy aisle and find your favorite chocolate bar. And then what I like to add is just 1 teaspoon, about 4 grams of shortening. I like to add a little shortening, kind of smooths it out. Plus, when we have to refrigerate these, so the shortening helps to keep the chocolate nice and shiny. I know people are going to say, could I temper the chocolate? Yes, you could do that if you want to take the time to do that. I'm not going to, so that is why if you don't temper your chocolate, you do need to store your Buckeyes in the refrigerator or freezer. So I'm just going to put that over my saucepan and melt them together. Okay, so our chocolate has melted. Let's take it off the heat. Make sure whenever you melt chocolate that your water is just like barely, you can see there's no bubbles. You just want like really hot water. You don't want a boiling water because then your chocolate will overheat. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take like a really deep, small bowl because it's easier to dip my balls, my chocolate or my peanut butter balls in there. So, and this is a bit of like a production line, assembly line, I guess you'd say. The first thing you will need, so if you have the kids around, they can help you with this, is you want some, you can use just toothpicks or these wooden skewers, and then you need to insert them into your peanut butter balls these are nice and cold, and then, so you do all that, slop there, and then just take and put it in to the chocolate. Like I said, you want to leave the top like that. Let it drip off. If you want a thick coating, you can double dip, which I like a lot of chocolate. And then just put it back like that. And now this is actually the same recipe as a peanut butter ball. The only difference is with a peanut butter ball, you dip the entire ball and you cover it all with chocolate. But I kind of like this because when you put them out on a tray for people, they can actually see what it is. If you just have a round ball of chocolate, they kind of go, well, what's inside? But this way they can see. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to carry on and do them all. So once you dip them all in the melted chocolate, what you want to do is take the whole baking sheet and put it into the refrigerator for about, 15 to 30 minutes until the chocolate is hardened. I've already done that. And the reason I do that is because I want to remove the toothpicks. Some people I've noticed like to leave the toothpicks in, and then you can just put it in like this and put it in your mouth. I actually like it better without the toothpicks. So what you want to do, because you want everything firm, you can just remove the toothpick, and then you can see that I just take my finger and just smooth out that hole like that. And do that for all of them. And you have Buckeye Candy, or Buckeyes for short. I just think they're just too cute. So then you want to cover, an airtight container in your refrigerator, like I said at the beginning, for about, I would say probably 10 days, or you can freeze them. And so then whenever you have a chocolate and peanut butter craving, you can just take one out of the freezer. So. I don't know whether you heard that snap of the chocolate. My dog's here, loves peanut butter. If you like peanut butter cups, you're gonna love Buckeyes. They are just so good. The outside coating of the chocolate, like I said, you can use your semi-sweet or your bittersweet, whatever you like. And that creamy smooth peanut butter filling. I think it's just like the perfect treat. So you can make this size, you could double the recipe, you could make tons of them. Your family and friends will love them. And you must make these. And if you like this video and you want to make sure that you get all of our announcements for our new releases of videos, what you need to do is go and just press the bell that's next to the subscriber button, and that way you will know as soon as I release a new video. So until next time, I'm Stephanie Jaworski of joybaking.com.